So what is this little doodad right here, and how can it change your life? You'll want to stick around and find out. All right, so what is this magical little doodad thing that I'm referring to? Well, it's a personal posture corrector or posture trainer. It's actually a digital version of these things, one of these which I review on SPORTCONSUMER.com. There's a bunch of these. I purchased a bunch, and this is like a harness style posture corrector. It's kind of awkward. It's hard to put on by yourself, and it kind of cuts into your neck, and it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, especially when you kind of hunch over like this. It makes you uncomfortable, but it really makes you uncomfortable even all day long. Even when you're not hunching, it's a little bit uncomfortable, and it's very awkward to put on and off. This little thing versus this thing. And the price difference isn't as big as you might think. These are typically cheaper, but not necessarily if you can get this for a good deal. So I'm going to get into some details about what it is. Now, I just want you to know this is going to be a review. Usually I don't do a lot of reviews on Sport Consumer, but it's going to be a review that gives you just enough information, not too much information. Some reviews online, especially for electronic posture correctors like this, are extremely long. They go over 10 minutes and they talk about every little pamphlet that comes in the box when you buy it. Honestly, I don't know if you're anything like me, but I think that's a waste of time. You don't need to do that, to sit there for 15 minutes or whatever to watch that. You guys need just enough information, and that's what I hope to give you. So let's look at what is in the box. We'll do a really quick unboxing and then get into some of the nitty-gritty. All right, so let's see what we have inside the box. This is basically how it arrives. And this thing, oh, by the way, yeah, this opens up very nicely. It's got a magnetic clasp, and it feels very much like an Apple product, that smooth finish, luxurious feel. You just want to touch it, but who cares? Doesn't really matter. All right, you got a green box. Open that up, and you've got this little welcome package, and inside we've got a bunch of stuff here. It's a sort of a instruction manual, lots of alcohol prep pads to wipe down your skin, because it comes with these packages of adhesive. And it also comes with its own guitar pick, which they say is an adhesive removal tool. Good. All right, well, what else do we have here? A nice little black carry case. And here is the unit itself. The case is nice. Not sure when you would use it, why you would really need it, but that's nice too. So it's packaged very nicely, very professionally. This is the Upright Go. There is an Upright Go 2, but this one was a whole lot less expensive. It was about half the price, and while the Go 2 is smaller, and it also has several times more battery life, I have found that for half the price, this one is about as small as I need it to be, and I charge mine every day. So it works for me. But if you have the money, I would say if it works for your budget, go for the Go 2. Anyway, so here is the unit. It's pretty small, and you know, I've gone through a little bit of this manual, and it's all pretty basic stuff. It tells you how to stick it onto your body and how it all works. Okay, so that's about all that you get in the package. Let's talk into some detail as to what it's all about. Before I leave this particular view here, where we're just, you know, you're looking down at the table and the products, let me show you a couple of things. First of all, it does come with its own app. Okay, so I gotta be honest and tell you that this app is like many apps for things. It's kind of gimmicky. What I mean is that it's got a lot of stuff you don't need. I've got an app for my toothbrush, for crying out loud. It's not something you really need, all right? It's just another thing to take up time in your life. And this one is not a lot different than that. It has a lot of information that I would say is not very useful. Like, it tells you how much time you've spent upright as opposed to slouching. Like, who really cares? What you need to know, really is when you're slouching, this is going to correct you. That's really all you need from this. So you're not going to use this app while you are training. Okay, so there are two modes I should mention. There's training mode and there's tracking mode. Tracking mode gives you all the statistics you want at the end of the day. Well, actually, you don't really want those statistics, so I would say that's pointless. What you want is training mode. Training mode is the only mode where it actually vibrates when you slouch, and it vibrates just enough as long as you place it against your skin with the necklace or with the adhesive if you really want. And all you really need to know is when you're slouching. So right now I've set my posture, and I'll explain that in a second. And so now I am going to actually show you what happens on the app. You're not going to do this on a regular basis, but I'll just show you when you slouch. So I'm going to slowly slouch right now. Oh, look at that. And it is vibrating. So I'm going to stand up straight. There we go. All right, and it's subtle, but it does work, and it shows you that it is, oh, feels much better like that. It shows you that it's working, all right? Here is the app. You can just download it. It takes, a few seconds, and right now it's searching. There's a little dude with the binoculars. So I'm going to turn it on. Should find it any minute. Oh, there, I'm slouching. Okay, so what it's asking to do at this moment is to set the posture. And to set the posture, you take this little doodad, which, sorry, I keep calling it a doodad just because that's what I kind of feel comfortable calling it. It's a little piece of electronic gadgetry, and the idea is that right here on the back, you take one of these pads, which is, I don't have one individually, it's in a package, but you can see that that green thing right there matches the back of this. And you take that green thing, which is a sticky pad, and you put it on there. And then you take this unit and you put it just on the small of your back, just as far back as you can reach below your neck. And you stick that there, and it will stick, but I have some problems with it. They say one adhesive can last for many adhesions. Honestly, folks, I don't even sweat a lot, and even without working out, which I do quite often, but even without that, it lasts for about a day, and then I find it down around the inside of my shirt, down around my shorts. So I strongly suggest that you not use the adhesive. However, some people have found great luck in using these. The issue is, though, that they cost a decent amount of money, like, I don't know, $10 for a package of a couple of these, like 2 of these packages or something, and that's kind of like a printer, like an Epson or Hewlett-Packard photo printer, where the printer itself doesn't cost much, but the ongoing costs to maintain it, which is the ink, will bankrupt you. So that's how I saw this situation. So I looked for a better way to stick this to my body, and lo and behold, I found, ta-da, this thing. Now this is not cheap. This is a necklace, and it's about $40, but it's because it has magnets and it's weighted on the front. And so the idea is that you do this. You simply plug the unit in like this, and then undo this, put it around the front of your body. I'll show you that in a second. And then this stays just on your back, just out of reach of your hand, or you can just reach it with your hand. And it is comfortable. You don't even really feel that it's there, and it doesn't cost you. There are no ongoing costs. So really efficient. So that was one of the first things I bought when I bought this. This only cost me $50 Canadian, which is, I think it's like $10 US or something crazy. It was really inexpensive. The necklace was, I think it was close to 40. But I'm telling you, if you're going to use this and it's going to help you and you're not going to stop using it, you better get one of these, because I can pretty much guarantee you from the feedback that I've gotten from other people who have had this unit, they get tired of using these get sticky, they get gunky and gross, They do fall off if you're active, if you do anything where you sweat a bit, it's not going to work for you. You'll get frustrated with the whole thing. So you really got to get a necklace, and I like the original version of this, the Upright Go, which I have, only because it's half the price. It's not that it's better. There are improvements in the Go 2, but the price was really right. I got it for, as I said, $50, and so this whole setup was less than $100. We're talking Canadian. Okay, so realistically, you're looking at about $75 US. Excellent deal. All right, so I've been wearing this trainer now for 3 weeks, and that's how long they tell you to wear it. They say at least 3 days a week for 3 weeks to get into your new habit of straighter posture. I've been wearing it a bit longer than that, actually. I wear it for more than 3 days a week. I wear it every single day, sometimes only about half a day, but usually all day long that I'm awake. And I sit in front of a computer a lot, unfortunately, but that's it's all part of what you do, whether you're walking or sitting. So some people have been asking, how do you put this on? So I told you about the adhesive and the necklace. Well, honestly, I would suggest the necklace. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you what I do every morning. I put it on like this, and it's got, not only are these magnets, but they're kind of counterbalanced and weighted perfectly against the weight of the unit itself. Now normally you just wear this under your shirt. I'm just going to show it to you right here, and there's kind of where it sits. So honestly, I can't even feel it. To be honest, right now, I can't, and I know when it's against my skin, I can't even feel that it's there. That's how inconspicuous it is. And it won't ever fall off because of loss of stickiness. All right, it's totally the way to go if you're going to have any success, in my opinion. So yes, you do need to set it every single time that you turn it off for the end of the day. The next morning when you get up, you do need to use your app on your phone to set it up, and then you never use the app again, in my experience. It's pointless. So, but you do need to use it to set it up, to set your posture. And people say, well, how do you set your posture? You know, how do you know you're not maybe, you know, sort of uncomfortably straight, or maybe even leaning back when you set your posture? Well, the experts say to kind of basically line up your ear with your shoulder, and then your shoulder with your hip down there. Okay, so there, that's the posture. I think a lot of you know what is good posture theoretically. And if you look at yourself in the mirror, you kind of know and say, hey, you know, if I stood like this, that'd be pretty good. I would like to be like this. So what I'm doing right now, I'm standing in a perfect posture. If I were to stand as I would like to stand, it'd be like this. Now that looks horrible, and that's how I normally stand. It's vibrating right now like crazy on my back. I know this is horrible, but this is comfortable. This is what I look like in front of my computer. I don't want to. I want to do this. And when I see other people, girls, guys, doesn't matter, out there, whether it's on the beach or just walking around in day-to-day life, I can tell who's got good posture, and I envy that person. And so that's kind of what I want to emulate. I want to emulate that posture, and I want to get into that habit. Does it work? You guys are wondering, like, okay, you've been wearing it for 3 weeks, you've done the whole thing. Does it even work? Well, I've read I actually saw a couple of videos just as I was preparing for this one, see what was out there. Have other people done reviews? And they have. And I was listening to this one guy, and he says, well, you know, I think it kind of works maybe, but, you know, I got to think about it. When, you know, I get this thing vibrating, and so now I'm thinking about it all the time. Well, I'm thinking, who cares if you think about it? Think about it. That's fine. If you have to think about being straight and having good posture, then think about it. It's like anything in life. If you're going to accomplish something, you pretty much have to think about it. So don't think that it'll just come as a habit without you even thinking about it right away. No, I think about it all the time. It doesn't occupy my mind constantly. I just kind of go, oh yeah, whoops. I kind of bent over there a little too much. Okay, so the other thing that people have complained about is that you can't do normal daily tasks like sitting on the toilet, or eating, or bending down to pick something up. Okay, if you do it quickly, if you bend down and pick something up, it's not going to vibrate, right? It has a little bit of a delay, so it's fine. If you're sitting on the toilet or eating, you can easily just take it off, or you can just forget it, just leave it. I don't mean take it off necessarily, but just reach back and hit the power button, turn it off. It's not that big a deal. And honestly, it's so small a deal that I don't even worry about it. When I do my business in the bathroom or eat, it just vibrates. The kids kind of chuckle at me at the table. Hey, Dad, and it's vibrating. Now it's just like, who cares? The other problem that you can run into, however, it's not a perfect thing. There's always issues with pretty much everything. One of the things that you'll find is that you can get buzzer fatigue, vibration fatigue. So at first when you put it on and you feel the buzz when you hunch over like that, ooh, whoa, hey, I gotta stand straight. And then all of a sudden, after the 50 millionth time that day that you feel the buzzer, you're kind of like, oh yeah, there's that. And sometimes you can ignore it. You can, but I think if you're serious about straightening your posture, you will pay attention to it. I do, even after 3 weeks. And I'm at the point now that when I'm not wearing it, I actually do catch myself slouching, and I kind of go back to as I should be. And that's really where you want to get to. Now, everyone is different. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. There's no guarantees like anything in life, but it does more or less work for me. It certainly functions as advertised. When you go a little bit off of your perfect posture, it will vibrate. Now, what you do with that vibration on the small of your back, or on your upper back, is your business. Are you going to let it change your life, or are you going to say, oh, this thing's annoying, I don't like it, it's awkward, I forget to charge it? That's up to you. So speaking of charging, it does need to be charged. I would charge it every single day. All right, you charge your phone usually at night. I mean, a lot of people do before you go to bed. Do the same with this. It'll last more than a day, but it's not a bad idea to do that, and then you won't have any issues with charging. Okay, so as far as positives and negatives, if you're looking for pros and cons, the pros are pretty straightforward. It's small, it's inconspicuous, it's light, and it does what it says it does. It vibrates gently on your back when you lean forward. It's not very loud. There is a little bit of a buzzing if the room is really quiet and somebody's standing within maybe 3 feet of you. They might go, hey, what's that noise? But it's under normal circumstances, pretty much everybody during every day of their lives will not have a problem with the noise. Nobody will hear it. So those are the positives. I think it works. I think it's a good product overall. The negatives, I don't really know. Nothing's jumped out at me other than some people have said, I mean, I haven't experienced this, but some people say, well, the battery doesn't last very long. I forget to use it, and then by the time I want to use it, the battery has drained itself. That's just baloney. Like, come on, really? Like, use your own self-discipline. Charge it when you need it, just like you would your phone, and it'll last like a couple of days. Depends on how much you hunch over. One time when I charged it, it only lasted for about like maybe 10 hours, but that's because I was constantly hunching over. It was my first day, so I kind of expected that. But so what? I plugged it in, and the next morning it was fine. It was fine actually a couple hours later, but the next morning is when I got it. So I don't really see a lot of negatives. There are people who are unsure whether it works or not. They don't like the fact that it's training them to think about having good posture. I don't have a problem with that. I want it to train me to think about having good posture. If I have to think really quickly and go, oh yeah, I need to stand up straight in the future, like 2 years from now when I'm not using it, that's fine. It's trained me to do that. All right, so I think overall it's a great product. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that you can get the Go, the original upright Go, which I have, or the Go 2, the upgraded version. And the upgraded version is a bit smaller and the battery lasts a bit longer. Actually, some say 2 to 3 times as long. All right, I don't know because I haven't used it personally, but here's my thought on that. As far as price goes, I paid half for the original than the Go 2. So I like that. That was a great deal. And the other thing is, as far as size, I mean, if I said to you, hey, the new iPhones coming out are going to be half the size of the old ones, really? Does that have any validity? Do you want a smaller iPhone? Do you want something that's like this big? That probably won't be an advantage to you. In fact, I think the trend is to slightly larger iPhones, speaking of iPhones. So that's not always an advantage to have it smaller. It's small enough now that no one's going to notice it, and it's so light. So I don't know, if you really care about size, I suppose, but nobody can see this on me anyway. So I like the price. I would stick with the original Go because of that, but oh, and by the way, I charge mine every night, so power issues are no problem, so the battery is fine. But whatever floats your boat, get the new version. If you got the money, it's always a better idea to get the newer version, I think, anyway, in most cases, so enjoy. All right, I hope this has been helpful to you, at least a little bit, as far as helping you decide whether you might even want to correct your posture with an electronic device rather than a strapped kind of weird harness. I would go for this hands down. I've tried them both. This is way better. I use it every day. I never miss a day. It sits on my night table when I wake up, and it does what it advertises. So for me, it has been helpful. And yes, I still set the buzzer off quite often, especially when I'm eating or doing daily tasks other than, you know, walking straight or sitting. But overall, it does what it claims to do. All right, guys, so that's a bit about my thoughts on the Upright Go, and I hope that has helped you decide whether you want to give it a try or not. You can always give it a try. You can send it back to Amazon. They'll take it back if you don't like it. There are links in the description below. Make sure you check those links, because it's not just links, but there's a little bit more about us and a lot of helpful information about everything that we do here at Sport Consumer. Some of you ask even how I make my videos and how I get this background and that kind of stuff. There are links down there that explain that, and links to not only the Upright Go, but the necklace that you can buy if you're interested. Strongly suggest that. That is a must if you're going to be successful in this whole venture of getting straighter posture. So if this has been at all helpful to you, we would appreciate a like and a subscribe. And we would look forward definitely to giving you some more actionable and helpful information. In fact, that's our gift to you for subscribing. I appreciate that so much that I do want to go out of my way, and I do every day actually, or almost every day, to give you actionable and useful advice that you can just grab a hold of and do right away. Just skip all the rest of the research you want to do, because we've done it here. All right, and if you trust me enough, then you'll see that things go well. All right, so thanks again for stopping by, and please do check us out very soon. You'll get a notification if you subscribe, and I look forward to speaking to you next time, when we will give you something helpful and actionable and useful for your activities and your lifestyle here on Sport Consumer and sportconsumer.com. See you later, guys.